The hike that I did this week, I would call the Rockwall Trail North Loop. It's a perfect 3 or 4 day loop hike. You can start and finish at the paint pots right on the Banff Radium Highway. I would suggest doing it the way we did, counterclockwise. Your elevation gain is a bit more gradual as you go in, and the views, I think, of the rock wall itself are that much better when you're hiking to the south because they're right in front of you. And I forgot how nice a walk along Tumbling Creek it is. We hiked that route in 2004. It was pouring rain that morning, and we must have had the rain gear on, the hoods up, our chins buried into our chests, because I don't remember that walk at all. I was really impressed with the walk. The views are beautiful. Tumbling Falls itself is really nice, and when the valley opened up there, the views were great. I really enjoyed it. It was a really nice walk. Today I'm with my buddy John from Calgary, Alberta, and we are at the paint pots. This is about 10 kilometers or about 6 miles west of the Alberta-British Columbia border. We're in Kootenay National Park in British Columbia. We're about to do a 4-day, 3-night backpacking trip into Helmet Falls and then up and over Rockwall Pass to get some great views of the rock wall, and then back out again to this spot and back to the parking lot. This afternoon, just an easy hike, couple of hours into the campsite, and we're gonna do pizza. Pizza is our tradition the first night, so we're looking forward to that. So we've reached the first trail junction. This is the trail to the Helmet Ochre campsite, so we're not that far. And this trail over here comes in from Tumbling Pass. This is the trail that will come back in from on Thursday in 3 days, and the trail sign there. First night on the trail, we do a pizza, make it on the Outback oven. So tonight we got some ham, pepperoni, and mushroom. And this is the end result. We'll let you know how it tastes. So John and I have just fought our way up the switchbacks coming out of Helmet Ochre Junction campsite. It's day 2, and we'll see what the old oximeter is reading here. That was a climb. We figure it flattens out now, so hopefully things will get a little better. That's pretty impressive. John figures it's from this spring. Looks like a fresh cut. That is one big log. We're about halfway to our lunch stop, and this is Helmet Creek, flowing out of the mountains away from Helmet Falls, which we're headed to tonight for camp. This is the bridge over Helmet Creek, so thankfully there is a bridge. This is our first view of Helmet Falls. One of Canada's highest waterfalls. It's 1,154 feet tall. Here's the trail junction with the trail to Ochre Pass. It goes north to the Trans-Canada Highway. The way we're going, we have 0.3 kilometers to number 6 campsite, and that's at Helmet Falls. So 1983, I hiked with my future wife and an uncle. We hiked from the Trans-Canada Highway west of Field, over Ochre Pass, past Helmet Falls, and along the Rockwall Trail out to Flow Lake parking lot. Quite the hike. We're just coming up on the Helmet Creek Warden's cabin here, just below Helmet Falls. And yeah, the wardens always have the nicest views. This will be our campsite for the night. And we just put the tent over in the sun to dry off a little bit more. It's still a little bit damp from the morning dew, but not too bad. It'll be dry in a minute or two. And we're right across the creek from the warden's cabin. So now that we're at the Helmet Creek campsite, we're on a little bit of a day hike. Beautiful day. It's plus 23 right now. We're going to get as close to those falls as we can get. This is kind of interesting. Helmet Falls is the scenic highlight of this area, obviously. But look at all the waterfalls coming down off this ridge. This is spectacular. The picture just doesn't do it justice. So that's over 1,000 feet tall. It looks like there's several falls. Like it comes down about a quarter of the way and then hits a shelf and just explodes off that shelf. It goes down to probably 3/4 of the way down into a pool, and then that pool has its own falls, and coming off the left side way up high is another falls. And just to show you where we came from today, this is Helmet Creek Valley. This is the tent that we're using on the hike this week. It's called the Six Moon Designs Lunar Duo. 2-person tent, lots of room. and it utilizes your hiking poles for setting up. So the weight of this tent, I'll flash it up on the screen, I can't remember the specs. I'm guessing it's probably about 3 pounds total. This is morning light on Helmet Falls. Great vantage point here of Helmet Falls, looking back as we climb. These are known as hippie on a stick, or more accurately known as Western anemone. But that's hard to say, so we're going to say hippie on a stick. Well, it feels like we've plateaued here as we climb up and around Limestone Peak, and once we've hit that plateau, we're going to head down a bit to the South Fork of Helmet Creek. What a beautiful day. So after a stiff climb, we have reached Limestone Summit. It's not really a summit because the peak is off to the west here, about 2,000 feet higher. But here's the first of the classic views of the Rockwall looking to the south. So at Limestone Summit, the oximeter is showing 105 pulse rate and 93 sat. There's some more of those hippie on a stick guys. They're hanging out everywhere up here.
Alright, the green flag shows our camp last night, where we were at about 1,750 meters. And the red flag there shows where we turned across the creek and started heading up. The red flag over here is where we are right now at the top of Limestone Summit with an elevation of about 2170, and we're heading off this way. We're going to go down and then back up across Rockwall Pass, which is at about 2240, and past Wolverine Pass, and then drop down to our campsite over there, which is still about 8 kilometers away.
Now we're descending from the Limestone Summit, or the plateau, and the Rockwall extends to the south, more than 25 kilometers. Basically just a solid chain of mountain. There is a break in the wall at the Wolverine Pass, and we're going to be there this afternoon, and we'll see how it goes. We may wander over to the west a bit to check out Wolverine Pass. Apparently you can look further west into British Columbia and the Bugaboo Mountains. The Bugaboos are famous for mountain climbing and ice climbing. We're walking through a big stand of larch trees right now. They're not all larches, but quite a few of them here. Larches turn a beautiful shade of golden yellow, browns, oranges in the fall. The needles, and then the needles fall off, and they regenerate every spring. Beautiful, beautiful trees. You can see the trail up ahead. People are climbing, and that's the climb up to Rockwall Pass. This is Rockwall Pass, and this is the high point of the hike. Wolverine Pass is ahead and to the right above John, And we'll see, we may wander over there and have a look. If not, we kind of curve off to the left. You know, it's pretty flat in here, just a very gradual downhill right now. We're looking south from Rockwall Pass, and Tumbling Glacier is the obvious one, tumbling off the mountain ahead of us. Very aptly named. Foster Peak is the sharp, pointy mountain to the south there. That mountain has always reminded me of the mountain in the opening scenes of Paramount Pictures movies, in particular Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. And this scene I took from our hike in 2004, blew it up into a poster, and it's on my wall in my office at home, and there's the Wolverine patrol cabin. I love this scene. This is just stunning.
Here we have phases of the Western Anemone, or Pippi on a stick. This one is just getting ready to lose its petals. And then over here you have one that's just starting to grow its hair out a little bit. Another one over here that his hair is getting a little bit longer. And then the other ones we've seen with the nice long shaggy locks.
Folks, it doesn't get any better. This is so beautiful. It's good to be alive. We're on our way over to Wolverine Pass here, just a short little walk over to the west. We're in Wolverine Pass right now. This is looking east toward Rockwall Pass, and there's the trail that we just walked over to Wolverine Pass. This is the view west through Wolverine Pass toward the Bugaboos. We're nearing the end of our classic view of the Rockwall Trail. We're just about to plunge down to Tumbling Creek campsite for the night, and then out to the parking lot tomorrow. The horseflies and the hawks flying above the highway looking for roadkill seem comparable to me. The horseflies circling above the trail looking for victims. We're at the Tumbling Creek campsite for the night, and we've noticed that these tent pads, well, these eating areas used to be tent pads. So 16 years ago, when we hiked through here in 2004, we would have tented here. These are some of the food lockers here at Tumbling Creek campsite. Looks like trail crew of '09 put this in. It's morning of day 4. We're just out of Tumbling Creek campsite. This is Tumbling Falls. It's about 15 or 20 minutes below Tumbling Creek campsite. We're still on the trail along Tumbling Creek down to the parking lot. We're descending now to the bridge over Tumbling Creek, and we're just going to take a short break at the bridge and then continue on, and we'll continue along the far side of the creek, the north side of the creek, and eventually we will regain the trail that we came in on along Ochre Creek. We've reached the bridge over Ochre Creek, and we'll hike over this and then climb just a bit back to the main trail along Ochre Creek. We're back at the paint pots. This land was thought to be sacred ground by the natives many years ago, and then it was mined about 100 years ago for Calgary construction and the paint that was needed in the construction. I want to thank Big John for hiking with me this week. I want to thank you for hiking along with us. I hope you enjoyed it, If you did, please hit the like button, smash it really hard, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos. Take two?
Take two.
This is Rockwall Pass. This is Rockwall Pass.